Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Aisha Wasim taking chemistry of class 9th. The topic of this presentation is electrolytic refining of copper. As the name is indicating, it is electrolytic refining, means electricity will be utilized in refining of copper. The cell used here is called electrolytic cell. First, the copper is extracted from its ore. Extracted means that it is obtained. Ores are the naturally occurring salts of metals. For example, the ore that is used to extract copper is called copper pyrite. First, copper is obtained from its ore, copper pyrite. This copper obtained is impure. So, in order to convert this impure copper into pure copper, we use the process called electrolytic refining. The cell that is used for electrolytic refining of copper consists of an anode which is made from impure copper. This is anode and it is made from impure copper, the copper which is to be purified. The cathode is made from pure copper. Impure copper after purification is deposited around pure copper. So, the impure copper electrode first get dissolved in the form of copper ions. Then these copper ions are deposited around the copper cathode in the form of pure copper. The electrolyte used in this process is copper sulfate solution. Its aqueous solution means the solution of copper sulfate in water is used as electrolyte. Have a look how electrolytic refining of copper is done. In order to refine copper, we will use this electrolytic cell. Have a look. It has a battery with negative and positive terminal. The electrode connected with the negative terminal of the battery carries negative charge. The electrode connected with positive terminal of the battery carries positive charge. Here, the positively charged electrode oxidation will occur. Therefore, we call it anode. At anode, the copper will lose 2 electrons and convert into copper ions. Copper, by the loss of 2 electrons, is converting into copper ions. This copper is constituting this electrode. The electrode is insoluble in water because it is made from copper. When this copper loses 2 electrons and convert into copper ions, then it becomes soluble in water because most of the metal ions are water soluble. Now, this copper ion, since it is positively charged, will move towards the negatively charged electrode. At cathode, the copper ions that were present in the electrolyte, after being dissolved from the copper anode, they will begin to move towards cathode because these copper ions carry positive charge while cathode carries negative charge. Opposite charges attract each other. When these copper ions reach cathode, then at cathode, copper ions will gain 2 electrons and deposit in the form of copper metal. Copper metal, being insoluble, will precipitate out and will become the part of cathode. As a result, the cathode will grow in size. Again, have a look how copper gets dissolved in electrolyte at anode. and how these ions are deposited as pure copper at cathode. At anode, the copper will become copper ion by losing 2 electrons. Copper is becoming copper ion by losing 2 electrons. These electrons will travel along the external wire to the battery. At cathode, the copper ions will gain 2 electrons and again convert into copper metal. The copper ions at cathode will gain electrons and deposit in the form of copper metal. I hope this presentation will be helpful in understanding the electrolytic refining of copper. Allah Hafiz.